Well, we've got a treat for you now. I've been chasing Judd Trump to try and get him on the practice table and show us one or two things in his technique for a while. We've got him here, so let's make the most of it. Judd, I wanted to ask you a little about the power. You know, I talk about it a lot. Where do you suppose it comes from?
For me, I was always impressed with a couple of other players growing up, just local players in the club. I always wanted to be able to screw back the length of the table and stuff like that. So I think as I got older, I sort of managed to get more cue power, just timing really. I think also I don't spend a lot of time looking at my technique, but I think the power comes from a kind of flick the wrist when I get through it, and there's quite a few players that don't do that and they find it a little bit harder. So I think I just enjoy hitting the ball hard, and that along with sort of the flick of the wrist at the back, sometimes it helps generate a lot of power.
And I'll go on about the stance and technique. You don't need to worry about that, obviously you've got it, but that base for going through the impact, and you'll see the shudder of his body, because you've got to brace for impact, I call it, and he's the best guy at it. Let's see it. And it's even come back up top side of the blue. Now this cloth's pretty slow, so that was a good strike, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was probably hit the ball a little bit too full on with a bit too much screw. Obviously it takes a bit of getting used to the table, but it was a pretty good contact with the first red, and even still you're a little bit unlucky not to be on anything easier than that.
Just if you can play it one more time for us, I want you to watch here how close his middle finger is to the white. It's probably, I'm guessing, it's quite close, isn't it?
Yeah.
Put it up again, whichever shot you want. See, there's only about, I would say, about 5 or 6 inches between the tip of his fingers and the cue ball, which isn't a lot of room, so it's good that you can get that amount of power with such a short backswing.
Yeah, I think I used to be a little bit further away than I am now. It's not something that I've consciously done, it's just happened natural. It must be from watching other players and stuff. It's just become a habit that I now just sort of a bit more compact, and probably why my break building has gone to a different level.
Let's have one more then. See if we can keep the cue ball central this time without using the cushion. That's made to order again. It's just absolutely perfect, isn't it?
It's a pretty good strike. I just got into it probably a little bit too much, but I'd settle for that in a match.
Let's see you play a top spin black from a high black and get the cue ball arcing up the table. See if we can get some real revs on this cue ball. So you're going to get the cue ball coming off here and spinning round those reds, and up there. It's one of those nice looking shots, isn't it? He's getting himself ready for it. And nice and tight on it again. There you go, not a problem. And if the table's quicker, you're plumb on the yellow.
Yeah, yeah. It's one that I like to do at the end of the frames now and again, just to try and arc around the blue and the pink and finish on the yellow nicely.
Thanks very much, Judd. That was absolutely awesome to see it. Judd Trump, the power and the glory.